What's up, superheroes? Welcome back to my channel, the place where we make the impossible possible. I'm Scarlet Grace from UnseenSeraph.com. I'm a manifestation coach here to help you manifest your wildest desires with the law of attraction. If you're new here and you want to learn how to manifest any desire fast with the law of attraction and Neville Goddard's teachings, then start now by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you won't miss any video that could change your life. And if you need some extra help to manifest those big desires, I have several self-study courses that you can join and complete at your own pace, including a 21-day course on how to manifest your specific person. You can find the links in the description below. Coaching is currently closed, but I will let you guys know when it reopens again. So today I wanted to talk about committing to what you desire and claiming it as yours so that it can manifest in your physical reality. If you're watching this video, you probably want to manifest a desire that is important to you, or several desires. Or maybe you're watching this video because you have already manifested several of your desires, but there are a few of your deep desires that haven't manifested yet. Maybe you have been trying to manifest them for a while and wondering if there's something that you're doing wrong and they're not showing up. So I wanted to address the issue of fully committing to what you want to manifest, because this is usually where people get stuck if they want to manifest a desire that they consider a big desire, so not something small, like a specific small amount of money or something they feel is doable, but more like something that to them is very important and they may have struggled with in the past, so it doesn't feel like a natural thing to happen in their reality. It feels hard on some level. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you already know that there are no big and small desires, because from a manifestation point of view, if you have a desire, that means, by default, that you can make it happen in your 3D reality. And it is as easy to manifest a free cup of coffee today as it is to manifest one of those desires that you feel are big. Maybe it's your dream job, or your dream house, or meeting your soulmate, or getting an ex back. It is as easy to manifest one of those desires as it is to manifest finding a coin on the street, or somebody buying you a free cup of coffee. It's our perception of what is small and easy to do and what we think is big that makes some things manifest very effortlessly and naturally, and other things take a long time, or we feel we have to struggle in order to manifest them because we don't believe we can actually have them now. One of the most important things when it comes to making sure that one of those big desires that you have manifest easily in your reality is to fully commit to the thing that you desire to manifest. Here is what I mean. When you want to manifest something that is small, that feels small to you and not particularly important, like that free cup of coffee I mentioned earlier, you don't have any resistance around it. So you feel it is easy and it doesn't conflict with your identity, it doesn't conflict with the way you have been thinking about it up until now. This is why it is easy to imagine that somebody bought you a free cup of coffee and the free cup of coffee manifests. It can even manifest within minutes of thinking it. But when you want to manifest something that you feel is bigger, something that maybe conflicts with how your life has been up until now. Let's say, for example, that you were never fully happy in your love life. You've dealt with a lot of betrayal and disappointment. And what you want is to manifest your ideal relationship with one specific person. Well, this is something that conflicts with the thoughts that you have been having all your life around this specific topic. Or if you want to manifest your dream job and you always work crappy jobs, this is a big change to your mind. That means that the thoughts you are used to thinking around this thing are very different to the thoughts that you need to be thinking in order to manifest this thing into your 3D reality. Now here's what happens. Many people don't realize this, but thoughts are addictive. Your brain is literally addicted to thinking along specific lines. This is why when we want to manifest a big desire, it is sometimes hard to change our thoughts and to keep thinking the right thoughts in order for the desire to manifest. There is this mental tendency to slip back to our old thought patterns. And this is a literal addiction. So it's not only that the neurons in your brain are used to firing together to create specific thought patterns, the ones that you are used to thinking, It is also the chemicals that are being produced that your body is addicted to. So if you have a negative story, let's say about your relationships, if you have a negative story about relationships, about how you always end up being betrayed and you're always the victim and you don't understand why people treat you this way, if you have thoughts along those lines and you have had those thoughts for many, many years before you found out about manifesting and how your thoughts create, your brain and your body, they're literally addicted to those thoughts, both to the fact that those neurons fire together, so this is a pattern in your brain, and to the chemicals that get produced when you have those thoughts. So all those negative feelings that you're feeling when you feel sorry for yourself, when you feel that you're not good enough, when you feel that you will always end up being alone and betrayed and disappointed, those feelings, they're not somewhere out there. Those feelings are inside your body and they are controlled by specific chemicals. If you are having those kinds of thoughts often and for an extended period of time, that means that your body is used to experiencing those chemicals that make you feel miserable. So when you decide to manifest something, when you decide to manifest a different reality for yourself, you already know that you need to be making different thoughts. You need to be thinking in a different way. You need to be thinking about yourself as a person that is very valuable, as a person that others pursue, as a person that is very desirable, as a person that is successful. And you need to be thinking from, I am already happy in my love life. I am already happy in my relationships. The same with a job, the same with money. You need to change how you see yourself and what thoughts you have and what feelings you're feeling around those topics. But the thing is, because there is this chemical addiction and this mental addiction to those negative things, because you have been thinking those thoughts and feeling those feelings for several years now, right? The negative ones. That's why you had the reality that you had up until now, because you kept thinking along the same lines and feeling the same way about those things, about those specific areas of your life. So because you have been doing that for so long, there is a literal addiction. So the tendency of your brain is to go back to those negative thoughts, and the tendency of your body is to crave those chemicals that create the negative feelings. And Neville Goddard actually talks about this when he talked about inner conversations and about what to do when intrusive negative thoughts come in. He specifically said, you need to stop the thought pattern before it completes itself. What does that mean? So we all have specific memories, for example, and specific series of thoughts that we always think exactly in that order every time something triggers us in our external reality and makes us feel disappointed. So let's say, for example, you have been using visualization and imaginal scenes to manifest getting your ex back or getting a job. And you feel that you're doing great for a few weeks, and then something happens in your physical reality that shows you that you don't have this thing yet. Perhaps you don't get the job. Perhaps you run into your ex and they are with a third party. When that happens, the natural tendency of your mind and your body, because they're still addicted to those old thought patterns because you had them for so long, is to want to go back to the way you used to think. So you will start having the exact series of thoughts that you have always had when something made you feel disappointed or unwanted or not good enough or like a failure. And the thoughts start. So what Neville said is that it is very, very important to break that cycle, to break that addiction. And to break that addiction, you need to commit to what you desire to manifest. You need to consciously decide that even though I realize that I still have this strong urge to go back to my negative way of thinking and to the way I used to feel, I have this strong compulsion to start feeling sorry for myself, to start thinking about all the people that disappointed me, to start thinking about what happened when I was in 6th grade and this thing happened that I've been wounded by and I've carried it inside me all this time and people always treat me that way and blah, blah, blah. I realize that I have this tendency and I realize that this is an addiction and I'm not going to allow this mental cycle to go full circle basically because it's a cycle. Think back to the last time you had a breakdown because something triggered you in your physical reality and how you handled it. Like you went out and had drinks with friends and got drunk or something, or you went home and were sobbing for hours and watching a specific movie maybe that you watch when you're sad, and you were eating your favorite ice cream until you cried yourself to sleep. This is a specific cycle. You're used to this kind of thing. So what you need to do is recognize that this is what it is. It is a literal addiction. It's like smoking or any other addiction. It's like a drug to your system. Your system is used to those negative chemicals and to those specific patterns. And you have to consciously realize that this is happening and interrupt that pattern as soon as possible, because the compulsion is that just this once I want to let it out of my system and I want to think those negative thoughts because this is what my reality reflects right now, and I want to cry and I want to whine to my friends. But it is not just this once. That's why I said it's a literal chemical addiction. If you let it control you, it will happen again and again and again, and you will never solidify your identity as a person who already has this desire in their 3D reality. You need to consciously interrupt it. When you catch yourself having those first familiar thoughts or replaying an old story from the past that is negative, like an argument with your ex or how your breakup happened, you need to consciously interrupt it. You need to remember that it has a very strong tendency to want to complete itself. The tendency in your brain and in your body is to complete that story. Once it starts playing, once the memory of how you broke up, for example, starts playing in your mind, there is a very strong tendency, a very strong compulsion to allow it to run to the end of the memory. You need to interrupt it. Like, imagine that it is like commercials interrupting your movie that you're watching on TV. You need to stop the cycle before it completes, because this is what helps you break the addiction. And in the beginning, it will be hard because, again, you will have the very strong compulsion to run through the whole cycle of negative thoughts, or to run through the whole negative memory in your mind and go back to analyzing it and repeating to yourself those conclusions about how you're not good enough, or how you will always lose in relationships, or whatever story you had been telling to yourself in the past before you found out about manifesting. Don't. You need to interrupt the pattern, and that's what I mean when I say you need to commit to what you desire, because you cannot entertain the negative thoughts and the flashbacks from what happened in the past and how this is proof that you will not get what you desire, and at the same time hope to manifest what you desire. This is a double-minded man, as Neville calls it, and a double-minded man gets nowhere. You have to commit, you have to decide that it doesn't matter what happened in the past. Right now, I commit to being the person who already has this thing right now. Who cares what happened in the past? Right now, I commit to having that specific person back. We're already together, right now. And you don't need to look for proof in your physical reality. That's why we have visualizing and imaginal scenes. You tell yourself the moment the negative cycle starts, no, this is who I used to be. I'm not that person anymore. Right now, I am the person who is with this specific person in an extremely happy relationship. We've been together for months. Everything is perfect. I don't care about the past. I don't want to resolve everything. I don't want to analyze everything. It's not relevant anymore. And you go into your imaginal scene in your head, or if you use affirmations, the moment you catch the negative cycle beginning, you stop yourself and say, no, I don't care what happened in the past. It doesn't define me anymore. That is who I used to be. Like, I don't care if I had to wear braces when I was in elementary school. Who cares? I'm not there anymore. I've no reason to think about it. Right now, I claim the reality where I am with this specific person, or where I have the money, or where I have the job. And this is happening right now. It's not something that will happen in the future. It is mine right now. And that's how you commit to something. And you do that every time something triggers you, every time for whatever reason you catch yourself going into this negative cycle of specific thoughts and emotions. You stop the cycle the moment you realize you're doing it. You ignore the compulsion to complete the mental scene of that painful memory or whatever, and you consciously stop yourself. And the more you do it, the easier it is going to become. You need to be able to commit to your desire. If you want to manifest it, you need to decide that I don't care if in the past, I thought it is difficult to manifest this kind of thing. I don't care what happened to me in the past that makes me feel and think that I can't have this. I don't care. It's literally not relevant anymore. Right now, I have free will and I decide who I want to be and I decide what I want to have in my reality. I literally don't care what happened in the past. It's over. It's not relevant. I don't care if it happened last week or 20 years ago. I'm not going to entertain replays of painful stuff from my past. End of story. And I fully commit to my desire, to having it now. Because you always have a choice. You can go mentally into something painful, into worst case scenarios, into painful memories from the past. Or you can choose to go into your imagination, either with visualization or with affirmations or with any other method you personally enjoy, and claim the thing that you desire as something that you have right now. Is it a specific person? You have the choice of running through all your negative memories in your mind. Or you have the choice of going into your mind and imagining that you're already together instead. Imagining your awesome vacation that you're having right now. Imagining the great dinner that you're having right now. Imagining your specific person saying all kinds of sweet things to you right now. It is a choice. You can choose to make yourself miserable, or you can choose to make yourself happy right now. Commit to what you desire. Choose the memories that make you happy. Choose the scenarios that you go through in your mind that make you happy. Choose the thoughts and the affirmations that make you happy, and break that mental addiction, because it is a very real thing and it feels hard. But if you persist and if you keep claiming that you have your desire right now, and if you keep interrupting the cycle and replacing that cycle with the imaginal scenes of your choosing, then your desire will manifest, and you will realize that there are no hard things to manifest. They're just things that we have no resistance towards, and things that we have built resistance towards. But you will have proven to yourself that you can break that addiction, break that resistance, and have your desire anyway. No matter your past, no matter how you used to think. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.